In the 1960s, the revolution that technology brought us was a transport revolution. Because we thought we could move people more cheaply, move them we did. We moved the places where we expected them to work, to learn, and even the places we expected them to live. We thought big would be cheap, and we built big. We built big schools, big factories, big everything. But the price we paid for that size was dissatisfaction, was alienation, was breaking up successful communities, working communities, learning communities. What we ended up with were places that were actually not very pleasant for real people to live and learn and work in. Now, since then, we've had some common sense, and we've started to knock a few of them down. But as we built big and our schools grew and grew, the language describing our schools started to reflect the language from those big factories. Middle management, targets, performance, standards, failure. Well, it can't last and it won't last. But what will the catalyst be that allows us to think again? Well, maybe it's this, a new transport revolution built from copper and built from fibre optic. A new opportunity to communicate with each other that doesn't involve moving us physically. Now, whether it's an information superhighway or not, or something a little more British, perhaps a footpath, really doesn't matter. What's important here, it's a new way of addressing that age-old need, the need to communicate and be with each other. And all this means that if we have the right connections and the right tools, and great clunky brutes like this are not the right tools, finally get away from our obsession with size and get back to a love of learning. So we can start to put our learning institutions right back in the heart of the community, where they belong. But where they will have the chance to communicate with learners and enjoy their learning, absolutely everywhere. So where does this leave the school of the future? Well, I'm here in one now. You could call it a prototype, but it looks strangely familiar. It is small, but it can afford to be small because new technology will allow the children to get exactly what they want without the school being enormous. They've got local experts in the classroom helping out, and of course it's still going to need wonderful teachers. This is a mixed age class. Young children chase the role models of older children, and the older children reinforce their own understanding by introducing ideas back to the younger children. It's a sort of school we've always wanted. New technology means it's a sort of school we can have in the future. Sadly, some schools like these, not this one though, are under threat of closure for not being big enough. And a vast pool of national experience about what makes small learning communities work is being lost. It's a real danger, and it will be enormously expensive to reinvent it all over again. It's important because it's their future we're talking about.